Effiespiration, right? Effiespiration is a series of weekly session that we started, which is aimed at creating a spark of inspiration amongst the marketing and advertising fraternity. Because to really look at it, we need inspiration today and right now more than ever, especially when times are tough and each of us are challenged in so many ways. That is when true inspiration that perseveres through it all can keep the industry alive and in all its glory. So today we have a very special person, Asantha Kalyananda, Director COO Third Shift Media, talking on a topic so relevant and timely, that is, an award is not a destination but a journey. So while we as a committee is coming together this year to enable this process of honoring great work, this time around Effie's is not merely a celebration, but a reminder of what true inspiration, power of ideas, and grit can really do, and how we as an industry need to keep pushing every time, not just one year, but every year to come, to keep this flame of inspiration alive and to place ourselves on the global map. So, without further ado, I will introduce Asantha. Whoever who has worked with him knows him to be a silent strategist and a mastermind with a very cool attitude. His vast exposure in both public and private sector has groomed him to be a mastermind in many corporate image transformations and media campaigns carried out in the industry, especially as the chief marketing officer of the National Lotteries Board, which he then expanded to strategic marketing and advertising. Carrying out local and global award-winning campaigns, including Effies to Smarties to whatnot, is a core trait of Asantha. Having trained extensively, both locally and internationally, Asantha is known for his compassionate skills of campaign designing and human touch communication planning. So, Asantha, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chamindri, for the nice introduction. Hi everyone. So I hope you all are doing good and keeping safe among all this chaos going around in the country. So to start, actually the second day of Effiespiration Session, my task here today is to inspire you and to share with you my experience and basically based on my journey. So how awards can help you in different steps of your career, and how an award can help you in certain aspects of your business, be it an agency, be it a client side bar marketer. So in different stages, how award can help you in a different ways in the different stages of your career. So that's the whole topic we are going to talk about today. So we are sitting in September, like FEC is just 2 months, 2 months away. So yeah, it's one of the big advertising awards that we are looking forward to having each year. So as advertisers and the marketeers, we usually enter for a lot of awards. FEC is one of them, be it Cannes to AdFest to Spikes, WARC awards, Epica to there are so many awards that we enter each year and participate when the award season is coming. And recently, most of you all have some of you, we have had a chat with some participants, some of the friends in the industry. Recently there was a emergence, we have seen some of the fake awards have come. So there was some group of people who are selling recognition for the money. So there was an issue of that kind of issue as well, the emergence of fake awards in the industry. So among all these things, what's the why awards matter? So what's the whole purpose of award? So how award can help you in different stages of your career? So how I see it is according to my point of view. So award is something not you just do the campaign, you win it and celebrate it, and like just be happy about it and be proud about it and post on LinkedIn and do some paper articles and just close it from there. So that's not how awards are working. I mean, that's not the way it should be. So that's why I'm calling it like it's a journey, not a destination, and it help you in different ways based on the different stages of your career. So I'll be discussing this based on my career. So just a small intro about my career. So I actually started as a media planner, not a media planner, like management training at Mindshare. Mindshare, which was at that time it was a small part of JWT actually. So then I became a media planner, team head, and business lead. Like half of my career was at Mindshare, dedicated to one client, which is Unilever. I'm like very thankful. We learned so many things thanks to Unilever and Mindshare. So my like half of my career was uh, spent handling Unilever brands. So after being a business head at Mindshare for Unilever team, and then I moved to another different kind of a challenge, which is at National Lotteries Board as the head of marketing, chief marketing officer. And then I took another move as a director and a CEO of Third Shift, which is my current workplace. So I'll discuss in this in detail. So like I'm sure in this audience that there should be a variety of participants, like starting from very junior career starters, starting from like university students. I'm sure definitely there will be a participants like this, and mid-career people and senior people and the veterans also, like veterans of our industry. So very senior people, so people we have also learned from. So based on this, I mean, most of you have passed certain steps of your career. So I'm sure most of you will be able to relate to this, the things that I'm going to talk about here. So I'll explain using different steps of my career. I'm sure you will be able to relate to it as we are in a more or less a similar kind of a industry, so be it a client side or in agency side, it's more or less the same challenges that we have. So the first phase of my career, I just named this part as the little pat on the back. So as a management trainee, as a junior executive who landed in advertising, I didn't know anything about marketing or advertising when I was stepping to this field. I was a complete alien. I was a science graduate. So as a science graduate who landed in advertising, I had some doubts actually. So in the first year, like 6 months, I was thinking, is this the right job for me? So will this work for me? That kind of a challenge. So, I mean, the doubt I had always I had that doubt in my mind. And the other thing is, on the other side, will the industry accept me? So I didn't have any background. So in a background like that, in a situation like that, will the industry accept me? So that kind of a doubt I always had as a junior, very junior person to the industry. So in that, I mean, when I was working as a junior planner, so I'll share with you this story. We got this challenge. As I said, my client was Unilever, and we got this campaign, Laoji Aurudu. So my colleagues from Unilever are here, some of them. So they know how stressful is Aurudu campaign for a media planner. So it's very tough time. So like media planner face a lot of challenges, like they have to secure the properties. It's a highly competitive media space in that 2 months. So coordination wise, it's a nice nightmare. Like there are 5 or 6 events happening across the country. Like you have to coordinate with channel, client side, retail agency, like the creative materials. It's a huge task and very stressful stuff. So actually we were also going through this, and we did a lot of work around it. And more than anything, the whole Unilever is looking at this project, from director to communication manager to brand managers. Everyone is like focusing on this uh, particular project. So you are the one who is on focus. You have to deliver like 100%. So in that phase, so I received my first award. So you might laugh at me like I don't know whether you will believe me or not. So this is my first award. So actually, as I said, it was kind of a pat on the back. So I still remember I was at Unilever auditorium, Leighton Auditorium. So I was feeling, there was a water filter, I was filling a glass of water, and this gentleman, he was the director marketing at that time, Mr. Asantha Kalyananda, a very senior person. So just imagine I was just a junior planner. So he just came to me and said he was just passing by. "Very good work," something like that he said, and just gave me a pat on the back and he just walked away. So actually, you believe it or not, so that the small gesture of Mr. Asanga Ranasinghe changed a lot of things in my career. So I told you I had different doubts, like whether I should leave to a different job which is relevant to my field, the field I learned. But this particular incident did a change in my career, and actually I decided to stay in the field. So because at that moment I felt that it's very something not like a fees or anything like that, very small this thing, but I just felt that some appreciation came. So whatever the things that we have been doing is working. So I'm doing something right. So I got that kind of a confidence. So as a learning, like yeah, in that small incident, what I got was like your first award can be like just a small appreciation note from a client, maybe from your CEO, whoever it is. It can be just a small note of a email. It can be a text message, but that kind of thing for a junior, it will help him or her to go a long way. So it will get you off the ground and like start moving towards the direction. So it will help you actually to enter that path. So my request to all the bosses here in this chat, the call. So the next time you are like giving compliments to your subordinates, just keep in mind it helps a lot. So it doesn't have to be a fee or something big, but just a note of appreciation can go a long way. So scientifically also it's true, because I'm a big fan of this gentleman, Professor Daniel Kahneman. He's a award-winning Nobel Prize-winning psychologist. So what he says is like people's behavior. What we observed as people's behavior is just like a tip of a iceberg. So everything uh, tied with someone's behavior is like the larger portion of the iceberg, like thoughts, feelings, and their experience, values, and all that. So by small little gestures like this, you can make an impact on a person, and you can make them move to a right and a good direction. You can basically motivate them. To summarize, like that particular small incident, like help to put me in the limelight. So in the teams, my bosses started like, මෙයාට මොන හරි දෙයක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්, something like that. So you start recognizing. So you start getting recognized, and internally, like in your like you to yourself, like you have started feeling like I can do something, and also it will make you confident, and it will clear the doubts that you have, like the doubts I had whether I should leave or not. So those kind of small things, but it will set for a good start. So that was about my first award, and then slowly I'm climbing the ladder of my career. Then I became a strategic planner. So like in this stage, I had a different kind of a challenge. So I'm little senior now. So I knew that I'm a good executor, so running here and there, getting things done, like doing things perfectly and doing media schedules and all that. Those were okay. But the next step was like I have seen how my bosses and the team leads are performing. So I just wanted to prove to myself that am I a good strategic planner? And I mean, I wanted to prove it to others as well. I have a thinking capability. I'm capable of like thinking like a strategic planner. So that was the challenge I had in that period. So then we got this project, Close Up. Close Up launch in Sri Lanka. So I had to do that media plan as a media planner. So it was uh, one of the key projects for Unilever because it's a whole new brand which is coming to Sri Lanka and a new category as well. It's a gel toothpaste. So there was a nice commercial done from the creative agency. The theme was like something in line with color up your life. So we wanted to come up with a media innovation to make a impactful launch. So what we did was actually in the prime time, all mass TV media stations, so there are two Swarnavahini, Rupahani and all these key media stations we had at that time. At 7:45, all channels went black and white. And then there was involvement with celebrities and they came in and they did a small announcement and all that. Then it again become colorful and your commercial get launched. So that was the media innovation we did for the launch. Obviously, with this, there were so many other activities. So this is how we launched the product Close Up launch here in Sri Lanka. So next year we applied for Goa Fest, and I'm like very proud to say at that time. So we won the Media Abbey for the first time for that campaign. So it was actually the first time a Sri Lankan media agency was winning a Media Abbey at Goa Fest. There were some creative awards. Creative agencies have won some awards before that, but that was the first time a media agency was winning a Media Abbey at Goa Fest. So one of the milestones for me, the learning is actually so that particular award, Goa Fest award, like helped me to like convince myself that I'm also a good media planner. So you have, you have also entered that other gang of the senior people who are doing great work and all that. And on the other hand, it proved my capability to the industry, to client and my bosses, and basically the people who were working with us. So that was what I got from the Goa Fest Award as a uh, media planner, junior media planner, so mid-career person. So then, after that, I got kind of another step in my career. So I got promoted as head of planning for Unilever team. So kind of another, bigger responsibilities. So the challenge there was like you can be good as a strategic planner, but it doesn't matter. The next step is you have a team now. Like how do you grow your team to be a set of like good strategic planners? So as a teammate, you have that. So you being good alone won't work. So you want your team to do good work also. So in that period, we got this like we had this challenge. So being a regional global company, we used to get like a lot of knowledge uh, from the region. So there was a framework called Original Thinking Framework, which was cascaded to us. So I went to India and I learned about this. Then what I had to do is come back to office and I have to teach it. Train my team and getting them to implement it. So the what they have said now, regional team have set up for ourselves is like we have to train it here in our local offices and we have to do a presentation applying it to a local brand and we have to present it online to our regional bosses and the best team uh, will get 1,000 USD. So that was the deal. That was the task given to us. We actually we had two teams from Sri Lanka office. So what happened was actually we won the first week. we had a team, and second week we both the teams actually won, and we won the 1,000 USD prize money. So I know this is not like a FEs or Khans or something like that, but at that time that was something very important for me, because yeah. So this is what we did with that money. We didn't do anything, but we went on a trip to down south. The whole team went on a trip, 2 days trip. So as a middle level manager, uh, it was very important to me. The learning here is actually I saw with that award, thanks to the award, I saw a better bonding in the team. So like in any other team, we had small little issues at that time, so little disputes. But with the trip, with the award, most of these things got solved. And like I saw a bigger, like better bonding in the team. So these are the proofs. That same team was able to create like bigger and better work. So this is one of the campaigns that same team did. This was a sunlight, huge activation. Even we were using a helicopter to do, certain activities in across the country. So this was the team. So this team was able to create some award-winning work, and especially we won Festival of Media Global Awards again for the first time of the history of our office, and the history of Unilever Sri Lanka as well. So that was the first Festival of Media Award the office has won. So not stopping there, the same team last year it was one award at GoFest. So we won 2 awards actually at GoFest. So for another 2 campaign. So as I said, like those kind of small things for a manager, it's really important to create a winning, a bigger, winning and stronger teams with a better focus and better teamwork. So being a little bit of a theoretic, so it's scientifically also it's a truth. So for any agency or a marketing department, agency culture is utmost important. So like if you take the agencies which has a good culture, the departments, marketing teams which has a good culture, they do wonders. So in the agency culture, like the ideal culture is not a stable culture, but a flexible culture. It's not a independent way of working. It should be an interdependent way of working. So independent type of work environment, you will create heroes. Like you will create 1 or 2% people who are doing good work, but if those people leave the company, you are in a problem. So actually working for award-winning campaigns is really helping you to form a flexible and interdependent culture inside the organization. I have seen it, I have experienced it actually. So it has worked a lot uh, in terms of my career. So yeah, I'll move forward. So the next step of my career, which is the business lead. I was given a task to be the overall business head for the Unilever team. Always it comes with bigger set of challenges. So I had these challenges. So I had to build client relationships at a senior level, not at the brand manager level, at the director level and senior level. And networking with other agency partners, especially the creative agencies. So I had to, be friends with them. I had to know them to get the activities executed. And of course, other country officers in the South Asian region, and also I had to make the PR with them. And obviously, you have a responsibility on your team. So to sum up the challenge, like one of the big challenges I had was at that time, like I wanted to prove that that team was really hardworking team. So I wanted to prove that to the client and to the industry. So this is the best media team which is there in the industry at that time. So to prove that, to get there, actually awards helped a lot. So this is the summary of awards that we have won. That team, the Unilever media team at Mindshare, some of the awards that we have won. These are, I have tell you, these are not only the media awards. Some of these are like was done with creative agencies, and it's a part of the teamwork. But what I'm saying is, we won like at that time it was industry was not like this. I mean, we get like there we didn't have like much of opportunities. So with those opportunities, like we were able to win like about 13 goals, 15 bronze, and all that. So there were like large number of awards that we won. Like I was able to prove that team is the best team by like the most awarded media. It was the most awarded media team in the country at that time. So to summarize, like other than that, as a senior business leader, senior business manager at that time, another 2 3 learnings is like writing an entry itself is a good learning on client's business. You can just get a piece of paper and write something and submit it. So if you have to craft a nice entry, you have to know A to Z on your business, on the business of your client. So when you know the client's business, actually you will apply it in your next campaign. So it's actually beneficial for you and the client as well. So, and the other thing is, working for awards will definitely make you re-evaluate. So it will question yourself. Is my work good enough? So you will try to compare it with others. Is my work good enough? Am I doing enough? That kind of a questioning on yourself. And then automatically it will help to improve. And the best thing about award is advertising festivals. So you get to travel abroad and participate in this award ceremonies, listen to the speakers, I mean the famous speakers in the world and all that. So I have put down this small 3 things, the knowledge, I mean triangle, I would say. So just imagine yourself sitting in a auditorium at Spikes Asia or at Fest or wherever, and you're looking at this show reels and the great work, AVs and all that, and the teams that who are getting awards. So you will feel these 3 things. I have felt this. I'm sure you, most of you can relate to this. You will feel jealous. For sure, you will feel jealous. Like, why didn't we think of that? So when an idea is, when they're showing an idea, why didn't we think of that? It make a hitun nani. I have got that feeling. And on the other side, you will get a frustration. So we did think of that, but we didn't do it. That kind of a feeling. Aparade. That kind of a feeling. So, and the other thing is a confusion. So how did they do that? So it's like a one of a kind activation, so something like that. So kamara veda, that kind of a feeling. So I'm not meaning in a bad way. So these three feelings will like help you to re-evaluate. I mean, it's a journey of knowledge. So it will question yourself, and once you go back to your office, and definitely you will think about these things, and you will try to improve your next campaign or the activities that you are doing with your clients. So that's my learning from the award festivals that I have participated. Yeah, so great experiences. So, and one more thing, working for award-winning campaigns and the awards definitely will broaden your network. It has happened to me. It will help you a lot to grow your network. So client side, definitely you're working with client to get the campaigns done, and creative agency. So none of these awards are not, I mean, you can't do, it's not a media agency alone can't do it. So obviously it's a teamwork. So you have to get to know your creative agency. So the friends I have made those times, and we are still friends. So I, even to the level of production houses, literally I have sleep. I have spent whole night in sometimes in the production house. Once the cassette is ready, my creative person used to wake me up, Machan cassette ready. So then I used to get it deliver it to the media stations in special campaigns. So you might have to go to that level, but that bonding you create with your creative agencies, it will help you a lot in your journey in the career. So BTL agencies and sometimes the global and regional industry forums like Spikes to WARC, that kind of forums, you will have to write to them. You have to sort out different things, and eventually you will make friends and the contacts there, which is very important. And research agencies and the professional bodies like SLIM. So other than with your day-to-day work, you will not get a chance to associate with people at SLIM or that kind of forum. So what are the best spaces that you get the chance to interact with these people? So I'll move forward with the interest of time. Yeah. So then I took the huge career break. So I from Mindshare Group M to I went to the government sector as the chief marketing officer at National Lotteries Board. So that came with total different set of challenges. So the challenges were like at a very broad level. So at that time, the board of directors had this vision. So they wanted, it was a kind of a transformational journey they wanted. So they wanted to position lotteries board from a government sector traditional organization to a progressive business kind of organization. So we call it board to brand journey. Mandalay they wanted to be a brand, which is NLB. So that was the task, the key task I had in my mind. I was given. Those are the challenges I had. So doing that was not easy because the ecosystem was totally different. So I had to be accountable for the board of directors and directly to the ministry. So whatever things that you do are borne by circulars, you can't spend like that. So I still even remember the numbers of the circulars. So and media and people are like looking at you. So you have to prove whatever you are doing. So you can't take any wrong steps. So so you have to do good work, but you have to always be ready to prove what you are doing. Even the trade unions are there to question you. So to sum up the challenges that I had at that time, so we wanted to make NLB a model business organization in the government sector. So like a model village or model whatever. So the board of directors wanted to show NLB as a model business organization. This is how a government organization should work. A government sector business organization should work. So kind of a broader challenge. So actually, after a certain time of working and after achieving our so many structural changes and the business growth and all that, we applied for this award. The national, it was organized by National Chamber of Commerce, National Business Excellence Award. So the point here is after in my previous career, jobs that I have been doing, I was focusing on the brand awards, campaign awards, and all that. But here the role is different. Here the requirement is different. So I wanted to prove something at large, at a business level. Am I making an impact? So it was actually spot on. The board of directors, the management wanted to make it the model business organization. So we won an award as the best government sector business organization, the silver award from Chamber of Commerce, which is a well accepted party, well accepted forum in the country. So at that time, that was the highest recognition received by National Lottery Board in their 53 years history. So I was able to prove that I have made an impact. So the change we wanted have been achieved to a certain extent. The things like growth and all these things. So as I said, that award gave me a kind of a certification to say that I have made an impact. So sometimes in your career, award becomes a certification to prove that you have done something, you have made a change, and you have made an impact. So that's why I call it award can be a certification, official certification at a time. So the other story is the other side of the another side of the learning is actually at the same role. So award can sometimes become a change agent to set some standards and to change the way things are happening. That kind of a impact you can do by using an award. So this is not something I have won, but something we have created. So I mean, at that time, so when with my experience of like 7, 8 years in the industry, I knew by looking at personally at my career, as I said, awards had helped me to, I mean, change certain things in my career. So I have seen how we were able to change the teams, I mean, to do better things. So what I used here is that same experience. I wanted to create the forum, create something, and I wanted to see how it's getting impacted in a bigger and another set of people. So the challenge here we had was like a government organization like this. There was a sales force. You all must be knowing like the network which do the selling of the lotteries, distribution. Like there was a dealers to sellers to agents, the sales network, they were kind of welfare oriented. They were doing kind of a day job. So there was no such a big motivation. So what we wanted is we wanted to like make them think like businessmen. So we wanted to give them little target oriented culture so that they will focus on their businesses more, and eventually it helps us to increase our sales. So we actually created this. I just tried to play this video.
Asantha, the volume is not there.
Here, the audio channel.
Yeah, no, the audio is not there.
Yeah, I got some error message, I think. So never mind. So what I just explained, nothing big. So what we did was actually we created this award ceremony for the sales network. We called it Mahatma NLB Alavi Samman Abhishek. So just imagine it's a different context. It's not like a dealer convention that you do at Unilever or Softlogic or that kind of corporate sector. So this audience was totally different. So we created this uh, award ceremony, and we were able to achieve this. Like that was the first ever dealer convention. So I'm calling it a dealer convention because you will understand it better. But it was a hybrid. It was a dealer convention plus a dealer recognition program and a award show. So these people, like we saw a clear change. I mean, we were able to create a healthy competition. So next year in the same award ceremony, we saw that impact, how people are doing their offices, how the sales have increased. They have nicely done their offices and the booths and all that. So we saw a healthy competition. And we were able to redefine the standard. So mama අර වගේ what වෙන්න ඕනේ තුම තරමේ. ඒ වගේ. So those are the comments I have been hearing when I was traveling around the country. So we got actually good, I mean, healthy competition among the network. And then always you feel appreciated, you will always do more. This is numbers. We achieved the numbers we wanted. Actually, it's overachieved 16.2 business growth that particular year. It's a huge growth. And we were able to reach 20 billion that team. So likewise, so that kind of impact the award can create in some. So as I said, for different application of awards, depending on your role, you can use it in different ways. So then I take a break from there and I came to position which in at the moment my current company. Uh, is CEO director. So third shift is a startup. It's a new company. So the business model was like there were three people. So Prasanga was responsible
Asantha, you're breaking up a little.
The internet connections.
Now it's better. Now it's better.
Okay. So this was our business model. Three of us. Okay. I mean, responsible for the areas. So my area, like the client side, the challenge I had was like, how can I say that, like, yeah, we are keen on building resilient partnership with clients. Saying it's very easy to say, but you have to do it. So anyone can say this. Just really through through our journey, we had it actually the time suffering I started. I think around after 6 months time we started working. So journey and hand in hand in terms of time as well. So we were able to get so many awards. I'm not saying all these awards are done by us, but obviously it's a team. Through our we have been there is even the client also believes that we have played a in the agents. So
Asantha, your voice is breaking up a little still.
yeah, should I check my?
No, now it's fine. I think when you move a little, that happens.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk like this then. So that was about the challenge I had as a director in and the person who's responsible for the client side at the software at the third shift. So we had another challenge actually. So I told you it was a startup business. No one knew about us. So in our close circles, people knew us that we are good and all that. We have done some work, but it's only within our circles. But we wanted to prove ourselves to the bigger agency when we are going for a meeting or a pitch. So no one knew us. So we had to prove ourselves, then we can do things, we can deliver. So actually how with the work we did, like we are just like, yeah, 4 years old. We are just only 4-year old company in the industry. So in the first 3 years, we won these awards. So we were recognized as the fastest growing media agency in Sri Lanka. And we were the first media agency, independent media agency to receive campaign awards in 2019. And last year also we won the silver award and there was no gold award. And last year's Effie's, 2019 Effie's, we had, certain, we were winning awards. So with these key awards, I mean, as I said, it became a business. It had a business impact, business importance. So when I say the first independent media agency in Sri Lanka to achieve this kind of achievement, so that itself is telling the story. I mean, that's a good pitch. So that was I mean, it says my story that we wanted to say as a startup business. It actually helped us to turn the eyes of the industry towards us and towards the potential clients. And I mean, it immensely helped us to move the company to the next level. So I'll move to the last step. The next, I mean, I haven't gone there yet. So this is the next step of my career. I know there are so many people who have achieved this, which is nurturing. So this Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu has said like the best form of leadership is leader is best when people barely know when he exists. When his work is done, when his aim is fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." That's the greatest form of empowerment that a leader can give to a team. So inspiring on that, my next, I mean, in the next step of my career, I want to see my team is creating award-winning work, like without me, or I mean, without three of us in future, without our involvement, without our inputs. So that's the next step I would expect uh, to achieve someday in my career. So as I said, there are people who have gone to that level, our seniors. So that's the next step I want to achieve. So finally, so I propose this success key for any award-winning work. So this is my version. I propose this. Like for any award-winning work, the base is team. Everything is, team. So in advertising and marketing, there's nothing called individual awards. Like if someone is saying, I did this, I won this award, it's 100% fake, because without a team you can't create. Without your internal team, without your other agencies, creative agencies, BTL to whoever it is, without a team, you are not possible. It's impossible to create good work. So what I propose is at the base, team is there, and at the core, it is love. Loving your work. Team is the base, and core is the loving your work. So when you love your work, you will figure out everything else, like whatever the barriers you get, it won't be a problem when you really love your idea or the work. So other thing is originality. For sure, it has to be original novel award, novel thing to win an award or to get any kind of recognition. And the other thing is effort. So you have to put real effort behind it. Otherwise, it won't go that far in terms of the execution or whatever it is. And the most important thing is effectiveness. So you have to do justice your client's money. Otherwise, it won't work. So there are there's argument saying that you should create award-winning work separately and the real business work comes separately, but I'm not a believer of that. So, it has to be always, there should be a business link. So then only your work will be meaningful. So it has to be effective. So that's why we have ways to recognize the effective work. So that's my success key, what I propose as a success key for any award-winning work if you are going to create. So basically, that's what it is from my side. Actually, I have taken around 1 hour, Shamin. So thank you everyone for listening me and my horrible voice for 1 hour's time. So thank you so much.
Can't let you go that fast. In the interest of time, I'll just ask question. I think there's a few other questions as well, but we might not be able to answer all. But I'll just ask a question that is very current and relevant. So you showed how important awards are for the journey of a brand, of an individual, of a team, whichever case, right? But it costs you, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. I mean, you'll have so much of priorities in your day-to-day job, but this takes a lot of time, and you have other priorities. Why should someone really go through all of this stress, the cost, especially at times like this, right? People might question, should I really apply? It's costly, it takes a lot of time, especially at a time like this. Why should agencies or brands really drive this whole awards platform where they actually kind of apply and really get help win awards? Why is it so important right now?
Yeah, so this is how I see it. I mean, as I said, award is not like as the theme suggests, it's not a destination. Like it's not something like just for the sake of getting the award and getting some publicity and be just proud about it. But it has so many other impacts. So I mean, winning an award, even though you are not celebrating it in a bigger manner. So I know this is not the time to celebrate anything, but that impact you made, the winning award, how I mean that impact you made inside your team, it can create a lot of positivity in your team. So that impact is there. So I mean, you don't have to, as you said, I forgot actually. You don't have to like go and apply for every award which is there in the market. So sometimes you have to prioritize, because award is just one thing that we do in a calendar year. So if you are rightly focusing what award that you have to pick at this that particular time, so it will help you, as I said, in terms of your culture. It will help your teams to think positive and think confident, and it not just a celebration. So it has so many positive impact on your team, on your relationship with clients and relationship with other teams. It has so many impacts, like more than the fame part of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I think Amma has a question. When we look at the industry today, there are so many young talents hungry to succeed and are highly competitive. What is your single-minded advice for them?
For youngsters, yeah. The single-minded advice is actually you have to like one thing is you have to clear your doubts first. Advertising and marketing is something like it's not a like very mechanical thing. So unless you love your work and unless you are 100% sure that we are in this industry, you are not going to create anything. I mean, this is the industry, like we say, it's like half 50% like left brain and 50% is right brain. So you have to like put your soul and heart into this kind of a industry, otherwise you won't succeed. So one thing I have to say is clear your doubts. If you think that you are not good, I mean, this is not your thing, you just have to immediately move out. And there are like other good industries to pursue. So one thing is clear your doubts, and I mean, start getting to do the real work and with all your uh, focus and wholeheartedly. So that is one. And at the initial phase, like be little focus. So what I have seen from most of the youngsters is like they are not little focused. So while uh, doing one thing, they are little focusing on something else. I mean, they are looking at some other industries and all that. I mean, the way that is a part that is part of the job. I mean, initial phase, that effort, you have to go through that. So be ready to go through that. So it will work. It will pay in big term, maybe in a year or two. So the main advice to youngsters is පොඩි කට්ටක් කන්න වෙනවා. So just accept and embrace that. Then success will definitely come if you put your 100% into it.
Right. That's absolutely very valid advice, I would say. Don't just be there for the glory, but be there to kind of do the hard work also. There's another question. What was the award? This is from Kavi. What was the award that you believe changed your career forever?
It's actually the first award I received from Mr. Asantha Kalyananda. Otherwise, I would have been not in the industry. And out of jokes, actually, I was in doubts. So I did agriculture. Actually, I had agriculture degree. So at that time, to share a personal story, I got a friend of mine introduced me to CIC, which is the field I learned. So I was evaluating those kind of options. So I should have been moved out from the industry with those doubts I had. So I that was the change. So with that only I decided to stay. I mean, all the other awards made an impact.
Nice. So Gashi, final question for the day. Gashi has a question. Most of the young people are afraid of changing industries they work in. They prefer to stay in only one industry. Sorry, a new one came in. Only one. They prefer to stay in only one industry. What is the advice you can give them?
Yeah. So, I mean, knowing the Sri Lankan context, we don't have, unfortunately, we don't have so many options. So as an example, at my age, I can't be changing my industry now. So I can change, but I won't be able to, get the perks I'm enjoying at the moment. So that's something realistic. So being living in a country like us, so we can't really, and the latter part of your career, you can't change the industries. You can, but you have to pay that price. You have to put that effort to get into whatever the level in that new industry. So my advice is, if you want to change the industry, you have to do it in the early stage of your career. If you are staying in Sri Lanka, so most of the time, so in other country, you will have so many opportunities. Even you can take a career change in the middle of your life. So, and the other thing is, if she is mean, if she, the question is about changing careers inside advertising and marketing, that's not a problem. So if you are a media planner, if you want to move to creative and to be a service person, and if you want to be a brand manager, and then you want to move to agency, so that is, and then if you want to move to research agency, that's not a problem. I think if you are in the industry and if you really think that is where you're capable of, that's fine, I think.
So we have one more question. I think we'll make this the last question for the day, since we have to let people go as well. So Harshi has a question. You spoke about how there can be award-winning brand campaigns and how there can be campaigns that drive the business. Is there a campaign that comes to mind that you feel had both elements perfectly in sync?
Yeah, so as I said, most of our in that success key I proposed in my last slide, I am a believer of there's no two kind of awards, like one the set of awards that you to get, the set of activities you do to get awards, and the real business campaigns. What I believe is there's nothing as such. So every activity, every campaign, you have to do it for business, to do the justice for your client's business. So only thing is, when the award time comes, you have to capitalize it. To do the real work, and when the award time comes, you have to capitalize it, obviously. But don't doing campaigns for awards is not. I'm not a believer of that.
Right. All right, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the Q&A. So simply, awards are never about one single destination, but it's a journey for some, maybe personally, for some as leaders, for some in terms of your brand, your team, your client, or your agency. Whatever it may be, it is a journey that brings the best out of you your brand, and the teams that work together. Ultimately, an award is what vindicates everything that you do and gives you a reason to really connect and appreciate each other and motivate you to do much, much greater work the next time. And that is, I think, the sense of everything that Asantha spoke today. So thank you so much, Asantha, once again, for this absolutely time relevant topic, to give a much bigger meaning to an award than just a mere celebration. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post it on FB when we upload this video, and we will definitely respond to you. With that, we will wrap up for the day, and thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Asantha, for your absolutely amazing presentation. Stay safe and keep that flame of inspiration burning. Good night, and thank you.
Thank you everyone. Thanks.